If you're ready for your first attempts at a 360 invert, the Whirlybird is one of the easiest since it is related to a base invert that most riders learn first, the TANTRUM. The Olay of a Whirlybird also makes this 360 rotation easier since there is no handle pass required, and the handle is swung over the head to assist in the trick's rotation. During this Olay style rotation, however, the handle can get hung up and your rotation will stop if you don't incorporate the correct movements and positions throughout the trick. In this video I will walk you through areas of the trick that are directly related to completing the overhead handle Olay more easily. Before we get into specifics, make sure you use a seated position and a trip flip edge as you approach for the takeoff since this is a tantrum based trick. The trip flip edge pops you more straight up instead of back so you can take the trick up with less line tension. Your shoulder position on takeoff greatly affects the direction the trick travels in respect to the boat, and this direction can either increase or decrease the tension on the line as you rotate. If your shoulders are tilted away from the boat on takeoff, the trick is directed more away from the boat, so the rider and the boat are traveling in different directions. The line tension will be higher, and this makes it harder to allay the handle as you spin the 360 of the Whirlybird. If your shoulders are tilted towards the boat slightly, the trick is directed up and even towards the boat a little bit, which dramatically reduces tension since both the rider and the boat travel down the lake together. The Olay is easier accomplished in this takeoff position. You can more easily accomplish this shoulder position at takeoff with a special board and leg manipulation that resembles that of an ollie off of flat water. On a normal tantrum, you can take off somewhat even over both feet for the simple backflip. Line tension isn't as much of a factor since there isn't a spin, handle pass, grab, or Olay involved. On a whirly, or any tantrum-based trick with more tech involved, you need a straight-up pop that, again, is directed towards the boat. As you ride up the wake, bring the nose of the board up by pulling your front knee up, and the majority of the pop comes from your back leg or the tail of the board like an ollie or a reentry pop. This nose-up takeoff helps tilt your shoulders towards the boat. As you leave the wake with only one hand on the handle and the shoulders tilted, nose of the board up position, you should keep your elbow in and your arm bent to keep the handle close. If the handle is out too far on takeoff, you can get hung up as you Olay the Whirlybird, and you will get stuck midway through the rotation. A bent front arm allows you slack enough to get the handle over your head. As you Olay the handle, there's a little more to it than just throwing it over your head. You have to try to beat the 360 spin by getting the handle in front of the spin or on the other side of your head as quickly as possible. In this close-up, you can see that I try to get the handle on the other side of my face as soon as possible. Even though it never reaches the other side of my face, the intent at least puts it in front of my face and puts the handle in a position that helps me finish the rotation without getting hung up. If the handle trails or stays behind, you will get hung up and then yanked over. After this aggressive spin and Olay in the air, you will need to stop the spinning flip. You do this with another handle movement as you land. Since this is a backside spin, the rotation will continue backside unless you move the handle back towards the wake, frontside to halt the 360. With your front hand, push the handle straight back towards the wake perpendicular to the boat's path to counter the backside spin with a frontside spinning movement, and the backside 360 will be cancelled out. If you neglect this movement as you land, or you move the handle away from the wakes, you will continue spinning towards 540, which causes you to fall back over the heel side edge of the board. Okay, that's about it. Remember, with the proper board manipulation at the wake, proper shoulder tilt as you leave the wake, and proper handle position during the 360 rotation and landing, you can easily rotate your way towards landing your first 360 invert.